pretty tired. So, Nintendo, what do we think of that?
Poor. Very, very poor. Started off very well, to be fair to Nintendo. Miyamoto brought a Pikmin 3, it excited everybody, and then it not looked good, and I say that as someone who's never played a Pikmin game in his life. So that looked really good, and then it kind of went downhill from there. One example of that is the Mass Effect announcement. That should have been its own announcement rather than a B-roll video.
Do you think so? I mean, Mass Effect 3 came out in March, didn't it?
Well, they did this with Mass Effect 2, so they did. Like, they announced it as its own announcement for PS3. Albeit
oh, but there was another one coming, you know, whereas Mass Effect 3 is the end of the trilogy.
Yeah,
pretty late.
Point, yeah, good point. But still, Mass Effect 3 was, for better or worse.
I seriously don't think that anybody who's in the market for Mass Effect 3 will give a fuck about that at all. Seriously, like it's just not that big a deal. Like Brenna's right. It would be a really big deal if they spent like loads of time like creating unique content for it, but they obviously haven't. It'll just be the same thing, right? And it'll come out like nearly a year after it's been on like 360 and PS3.
Yeah, but if let's say if Wii U came out in November, it'd be about 8 months. Yeah.
It won't make any difference, you know. Like who's going to buy that? I don't know. Who's going to buy it? Unless it's got like proper unique features in it, like no one will. Like
I might buy it because I'm
missing the major selling point of the whole franchise as well. I mean, all along, ever since Mass Effect was first announced, the thing was that you would be able to carry your characters over.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
From what, my 3DS, you know, like.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not surprised they didn't spend much time on it because it's a little bit embarrassing. I would be like, well, we are getting like Darksiders and all these other great games, and also Mass Effect moving back to first-party titles. So I think they did the right thing in swallowing it.
But okay, fair enough. But still, there was no real big third-party appearance like there was last year. Like last year, they had Rick Tell come on stage. There was none of that this year. I
thought Batman looked really good. Like, but again, the problem with the reason that they made such a big deal of that is because they've included like loads of new features for the pad. Like, but again, the problem is that like everyone's played it. Like there was no, you're right, there was no big third party, you know, like this is coming to Wii U type thing. I mean, yeah, but the Batman thing was it really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and again, there was no Activision. Activision still announce if it's going to be supporting Wii U, isn't it?
Seriously, they just don't give a shit. It's not that this is the thing that people like are really failing to like actually understand, is that Nintendo is a casual video games company. Like seriously, like those are the people that they sell games to. This is why like the Wii Fit stuff, like, you know, will sell really well. It looked fantastic, right? They've got you know, they've got that new bit of hardware for it. Like it's ideal for the people that bought it the first time round will buy it again, right? And probably loads more people will as well. Right? It looked really, really good. But like for the core, they haven't supported like the core video gamer like in the same way that like Microsoft and Sony have for about 2 generations. So like now all of a sudden, you know, everyone's just going right, support us now. Like we have to see like all of the HD stuff. We have to see how the pad works for the core properly. And to be honest, they're so out of the loop with all of that I think all of the core stuff is just going to be a sort of second guess to everything else that they're doing.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I mean, it was really obvious in the conference, right? That, you know, they had Batman. Batman was their big thing. You know, for the core, they were just like, right, this is what the core bit is. And then there was Pikmin, which was great, but like they just don't learn. You know what I mean? It's just they don't learn from the that they have to show more bloody video games. Like there was so little content in that. And it's coming out like this year. There was so few games in that presentation. There was just hardly anything there. You know?
Yeah. Did you read any reports out of the hardware roundtable this afternoon? People were saying that they spent 20 minutes demonstrating Nintendo Land, which is playable on the show floor freely.
Nintendo Land was part of the problem yesterday. That demonstration went on too fucking long. Too long for my liking, Nintendo Land.
It sounded like they'd said that it was incredibly simple and will explain everything there is to know about the Wii U, and then just exhaustively detailed it, even after everybody had gotten the point like 1,000 times. Is that accurate?
Probably. Like, it's just Nintendo through and through. Like, Johnny Minkley's piece on it was just absolutely correct. You know, they just spent, like, I think the thing that really epitomised it was that Luigi's Mansion thing at the end. You know, the bit where, you know, there were 3 people with Wiimotes and 1 person with a gamepad, and they were all running around a bloody, you know, sort of dark, you know, isometric stage. How long did they spend on that?
10 minutes at least.
It's just like, for fuck's sake, mate, shut up. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, seriously, like, he came out and did Pikmin, and, like, my little heart lit up. It did. It was just like, this is going to be awesome. Like, the hardware. Exactly. The hardware looks amazing. It does look really cool. Like, they clearly, they're answering problems with that hardware. And, like, people are really paying attention. It looked brilliant with Pikmin. It does look really cool. And then it was just like, it just stopped. It's just like,
and then,
show some more bloody software.
Really telling. It stopped when Miyamoto went away. No wonder people are so terrified of his retirement. When every time he leaves the stage, Nintendo just lose all their zing.
It just basically
They're not helping their own mythology there.
No. Honestly, like, I got really excited after about sort of like 15-20 minutes because they showed Pikmin and then they showed Batman. And I was just like, actually, this could be really awesome. And then
That's like every box you have ticked.
This is it, and then it just died. It just died. And like, I thought actually the Ubisoft things on the U, I thought that looked really good. But again, like, you know, are you really going to go out and drop like 500 quid or whatever on like a Wii U and the Batman game you've already played? And a zombie shooter, like, with pad functionality. Like, really? Like, it's just completely unconvincing. And I think that Nintendo Land bullshit at the end, I mean, fuck me. That's just so synonymous with... It's just Nintendo to the bone.
I think if anything that epitomized yesterday, in a nutshell, is that they were announcing core games after the conference instead of during it. That's what they should have been doing instead of Nintendo Land. One example of that is that P100 game coming from Platinum. They should have kept that for the end of the conference. And then
that doesn't make a very good bookend to Pikmin, though, does it?
No, but it's a lot better than
parallels
Nintendo Land. No, but it would have been a lot better than Nintendo Land. I'll say that much for sure. And to go out on a bang with, like, Platinum Games, which is arguably one of the best action game studio in the world right now. If you were to exit the conference on that, with an announcement from Nintendo that they're publishing Platinum's first game on Wii U, that would have been a lot better than some fancy stuff in Nintendo Land.
This is their problem, though, isn't it? They're between a rock and a hard place. Like, they have to satisfy. It's not so much satisfying the sort of casual consumer, but like all of the investors are watching those presentations as well. They have to show that it's solid for their existing market as well as the core market as well. So, I mean, a great example of it really is like how little time they gave to 3DS. And that they had to basically like push that out into a separate presentation, even though that's their fastest selling like handheld of all time. They only spoke about it for about like 10 minutes, because like they have to satisfy now. They have to satisfy. I mean, like Sony fell into this trap as well. Like they have to satisfy Sony now has to do tablet, mobile, Vita, PSP, PS3. It's like, how the hell do you talk about all of this stuff in in an hour and a half? It's like it's a really, really difficult balancing act. It's exactly the same for Nintendo now, because normally they can just sit there and like wank on about fucking, you know, like casual games for like 60 minutes. All the core has a proper whine, and then they fucking blitz the entire generation with hardware sales. But like now they've got the problem that they have to satisfy the core, because they built a machine that is clearly, you know, at least in part, specifically designed to appeal to core gamers. And that's the problem, is that they've got two faces now, and I don't think either of them.
So it pretty much
I can't work out how to finish that sentence, but like they've got two faces looking at each other, and they're probably growling a bit or something.
It's approaching a crossroads, basically, where it has to now choose which identity it's going for. That's
they can't do that. Like, they can't choose. They have to go both ways. It's like the whole point of the machine is that it appeals to everyone, right?
Right. Yeah.
So even though, like, it's easy for me to sort of sit here and say it was shit and it was weighted, you know, improperly and blah blah. But like they're in an incredibly difficult situation. I think that the biggest problem is that they simply don't have enough content. Like, if they'd have had, like, why didn't they show, like, you know, another? It's like it's just typical Nintendo. They'll show like one first-party game. So they show Pikmin, and then it's just like, right, that's it, and then we'll save the next one for like 2 years down the line or something.
Well, they did show New Super Mario Brothers for Wii U.
Yeah, and that was a massive shock. God, like Mario and friends jumping over some bloody platforms. It's like, fucking really? Like, I was speaking to Minkley about this, like, you know, before the conference, and we were just like, you know, seriously, can you play that game again? Like, really, can you play that game again?
Yes, they can. They play it every time it comes out.
Not them. Can you play it again?
Can I? No, but I can never play any of them.
There you go.
You know, like every Nintendo game that is announced, I assume will never sell, and they do. Someone's playing them. Somebody really enjoyed that jumping.
It's not that they don't sell. It's just that in a press conference, it's fucking boring. Like, again, like, how many times have we seen that game? You know,
millions of times.
It's like on every platform that they ever make, it's exactly the same game. And I'm sure, you know, there are people, you know, obviously that will say, yeah, but now he's got a fucking rocket pack or whatever. But, like, you know, they really need to do something new. I don't know. Like, I got excited, and then I was dropped like a hot rock.
That's quite a polite analogy, Bob.
That was good. But no, beg open goal. No, but that was a big open goal from Nintendo that they missed big time. Big open goal. Whereas Microsoft is only like just focused on software. Next year, obviously, it is going to be the turn of hardware. But Nintendo had hardware, and now they just completely missed the open goal. I said this to Rob Cross at CVG on Twitter yesterday, and yeah, that they completely missed it by an ocean. Bad showing. Shocking.
Amazing. So what else happened overnight?
Oh, Square Enix released a new Luminous tech demo. It is lovely. Yeah, I mean, like, you look at it and you're like, oh yes, Square Enix, they make pretty graphics. It's real time though. It's not pre-rendered. Apparently, when they demonstrated it, they went in and fiddled with it and then ran it again with different parameters to prove that it was real. Which, I mean, obviously doesn't actually prove it, but wow, it looks great. And they say it's going to be scalable and portable, so you'll be able to play it in, like, on your smartphone and your browser, as well as on your, like, PC that's the size of a room. So just, yeah, no, that was good stuff. It's exciting. That made me excited for next gen.
Cool.
For the first time.
I'm just seeing what else we have here. Oh yes, we spoke to Shu Yoshida. That interview again is a bit weird. This is actually a really weird year. I don't know. Everything's just getting so like fractured. Like normally they can just like focus on one thing, and like Yoshida's just all over the place in that interview. Like he's talking about fucking like mobile SDKs and stuff. I know that's what like Nathan asked him about, but yeah, it's a weird year.
Oh, definitely, because you can definitely notice it right away in the fact that Sony doesn't have a big core game planned for the end of the year. Immediately. Like, you can spot it right off. Like, unless like we get this announcement at Gamescom, then Sony has nothing.
It's The Last of Us next year, isn't it?
No, he said it in the interview. He said it's going to be next year. That and God of War. I reckon The Last of Us.
Yeah.
The
Last of Us and Beyond are both in 2013, are they?
Yeah, and that's what I'm just going to be saying. Like The Last of Us, Beyond, and God of War Ascension. I reckon those are being planned as a whole trinity of farewell games for PS3, because obviously next year. Like that's Sony's that's Sony's farewell PS3 basically for next year, scattered out between numerous points in the year before I assume PS4 comes out. So I assume that's why they're keeping those for 2013. But it's
God of War Ascension's out this year though, isn't it?
No. It's March.
Don't they have a single AAA game for Christmas?
No. None.
Unless The Last Guardian suddenly comes together.
No
being really quiet about it.
I suspect
no chance.
No chance. If The Last Guardian comes out next year, if they don't just throw it away, it will be T Micro's first game for the PS3 in what will probably be the last year of its AAA life.
Awesome.
Isn't that amazing?
That's a bit of a shame.
It's
Savage.
it is.
Let's say Guardian does come out next year. It'll be 7 years between that and Shadow of the Colossus.
It won't come out next year. It won't come out. It may not come out. We'll see. We'll see. So where are we? Like, you know, I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to like write our summaries of the show and stuff. Like, it just feels like completely. I don't know. It's very unthready. There's not. It feels, it's actually, when you sort of like look at it from a distance, it's actually a really weird year.
It's because of what, like, next year, everybody's just holding their breath.
Pretty much. It's transition time.
They can't tell us their strategies. They can't outline them for us. It all has to stay under wraps, especially in something as scrutinized as E3, where we're sitting here analyzing everything they've said, trying to figure out what they didn't say. Like, does Sony have a Christmas... Oh my god. All-Stars Battle Royale. Is that meant to be Sony's Christmas event?
Well, no.
Does somebody think that's their triple
It is! It has to be. Like, that's coming out this holiday.
I mean, the two things... No, we're not. We're not. There isn't one. Like, because the two things that we were seeing from Sony, from a sort of a preview perspective, like the two big things were The Last of Us and Beyond.
Yeah.
Any other year, I would assume that we're going to pull some sort of massive Swiftie.
So, fucking hell, yeah, that's mental. So, like, basically, the biggest games of the year, really, the biggest core games of the year will come from EA, Activision, and Microsoft.
That just goes to show how frightened people are of that fourth quarter now. You know, like, the first quarter is becoming, like, ridiculously crowded now because everybody thinks running to there will help solve our crunch problem.
Pretty much.
Really.
And
we've got an exclusive on Watch Dogs coming, haven't we, from Sam later on?
Possibly, if his
internet works. I watched that yesterday and I'm not getting it. Like, what What is the fuss about that? That looks like just...
Surprise, Pat. When was the last time we had a big AAA surprise at
But
E3?
it wasn't
Like
a surprise because
2009.
like it was a guy running around with a gun. Like it wasn't a surprise at all.
It hadn't been leaked. That's what I mean. I mean, it was just so new and exciting and refreshing.
Yeah, and this is coming at the tail end of the generation too, because Eve Gimo confirmed the Kiri last night that it was coming to PS3, 360. Everybody thought that was going to be next gen too.
Did you see the thing that it's going to have like an iPad companion app? Which
Really? I don't know.
Wow.
This is on our site. You should read our video game resource website. It's full of great news. Like, so you can use it as a map to scout out locations before you go in, and you know, like it's obviously got like kind of a stealth, like a sandbox approach going on, so that's really useful. But you can also, like, if you hack a character in the game on your console, you can track them on your iPad without having to follow them around, and it's got social aspects so that you can like fuck around with mess around with your friends' games.
That is awesome.
Like, you can set off traffic lights and ruin their traffic jams, and that
is awesome.
That is really exciting.
I'm actually kidding about this now.
And you were talking about that, Pat, as that being the way of the future. And
yeah, that is cool. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. That is something new. Unfortunately, it's still a guy walking around with a gun. I tell you what
put it together. Hang on, wait. Put it back together with Yoshida talking about about PlayStation Suite, PlayStation Mobile, and the HTC deal, and then some things that Jack Buser told Gamer Sutra overnight. That your mobile console hookup looking sooner than expected.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, no, it's awesome. That is awesome. But and I tell you what, I did think, in between sighing and eye rolling when I watched that trailer, that I thought the acting and the script in that presentation for Watch Dogs was actually amazing. It was very cool. Like the bit where he goes into the art gallery or whatever, and he's talking to his contact, or whatever was going on. They were talking about like who was going to stab in the neck, whatever. Like that bit was actually really good.
I love how you're talking about the quality of the script, Pat, but also saying that you had no idea what was going on.
It's like we're going to see this fucking. It's always the same. Like it's a man looking for someone to kill, and another man is going to help him kill him or whatever. Or you have to go somewhere and speak to a man, and then you have to work out who it is you're going to kill. That's what I mean. Like it's just the same. But like I do like the sort of second screen features. I like that. That is quite good. But I mean, I think it probably says quite a lot about the show in general if we're getting excited about the fact that a surprise game can hook up to an iPad. Really, if that's it, is that it? Like seriously, is that what E3 is? That the biggest surprise of E3 that a AAA game can hook up to an iPad?
No, this isn't Jade Raymond's new IP, is it? Because that's going to come out.
No.
You're that far along, are they?
Like this is Montreal's new IP. This isn't coming from Toronto. No, like Toronto's doing Conviction, but Jade Raymond said they were doing a new IP, but
she's doing.
She said the reveal was coming soon.
Yeah.
Expected it.
I thought she was doing Splinter Cell.
She has, but I thought she mentioned something about a new IP.
Or is there something else?
Reveal this year. And like, when are they going to do it if they didn't do it
at Splinter Cell's let's say, like, they've announced Splinter Cell's next spring. So my guess is, like, if they've already got a second team working on a brand new IP, then my guess is they're going to announce it for next gen at E3 next year after Blacklist has been released next spring. Even I don't think Blacklist will be released next spring for some reason.
It will be. Like it has to be. Those are their three. They've got what 3 games for this FY ban. So they've got like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, and Blacklist.
And they have about 1,800 staff across 4 studios working.
Yeah, they will come out definitely. Like fucking Like Far Cry and AC3 are what they're pre-Christmas, so they'll be pre-Thanksgiving, so they're what, like September, October, and then Blacklist will be Q1. So yeah, it will come out. It will come out. Like, it's ready. You can see it's done, right? Like, you know, you can call in airstrikes with Kinect, and you must be ready.
Better than that.
That's the mark of a quality game.
Yeah.
Calling airstrikes via Kinect.
With Kinect.
I thought that was cool though, using Kinect, calling over somebody over the ledge. That was kind of sweet.
Yeah, you know, like I share a house. I can't shout at my Xbox. This is a really annoying trend for me. I do all my gaming in headphones because I have to be quiet. And I don't want to be like, you know, we are a fire thing. I just want to use my control pad. It's quiet. Sometimes I think control pads are too noisy.
That's the problem with connecting. I'm sure you'll be able to call in an airstrike with a button. They have to be able to allow you to do that, don't they? I suppose. But yeah, okay. We're kind of coming to the end of the announcements, really, aren't we? Like, you know, we know everything else that's going to happen now. I mean, we're going to get like a lot of content over the next few days for things like the Elder Scrolls Online and Tomb Raider and stuff like that. Exactly, yeah, and Castlevania. So that was basically it. So if we're thinking
one other interesting thing.
If we're thinking about like the press conferences, I think like I'm going to let it sort of sink in for a day or two, but that was actually like really bad. Like there's some sort of I'm just trying to work out if it was actually worse than last year, but there's just so few games.
I think it was better this year than last year.
It was a lot corier this time. I think the games that they did show, like the core stuff, was very strong, but there's just very little of it this time. Or have I got that wrong? I don't know. Like there just seems to be, like for Sony it was Last of Us and Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Microsoft, the first party stuff, it was Halo and Forza.
And Smart Glass.
Yeah, I mean like the core stuff.
Why is Forza coming out of its cocoon?
I don't like so many people have been saying that apparently it's absolutely amazing. Like it's like, you know, open world, like mentally high definition, you know, it just looks absolutely incredible. And like they showed it for about 20 seconds. I don't know, very odd year.
Racing game though, it's going to be completely out of date.
Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah. Oh dear me! E3 2012 was a washout. It was a disaster. I don't think it was though.
Are we gonna do the thing? Are we gonna say who won, or
I don't think.
We're just gonna sob into our hankies.
I don't think there are any winners here, Brenna. I think we all lose. Now I don't know though. I think there's a lot of like really strong software. And it was exactly the same as it was last year, but I think this year it's even more pronounced. It's like we're sort of seeing the hardware like really fracture, because like now they're talking a lot about mobile as well, and they weren't at all last year. So it sort of it makes the entire message of the show like even more weaker. I think. I don't know. That's how I feel. And like literally, I don't think I've seen a single PC game. Like since,
sure you have. Every console demo that they showed that looked good.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if we're still talking about surprises at the show, I think another thing that surprised me is Star Wars 1313. I saw that footage last night, and that looks incredible.
A Star Wars cover shooter, yeah. Actually, I could never have guessed it was going to be a cover shooter. Bloody hell.
It's Star Wars Uncharted, but it looks incredibly good.
Why is everything Uncharted?
Everything has to be a cover shooter. Like, I could have, honestly, I watched that demo, and I sort of skipped through all the CG to the actual gameplay, and there he was, crouched behind a crate, in a corridor while someone shot at him. Like I am shocked.
The Sleeping Dogs trailer. went up overnight. That's not a cover shooter. It's got a lot of blood and gore in it. So that's one trend. There's fire in it, not a lot of water. But at least that's a little bit different. I think Sleeping Dogs will surprise you, Pat. That might be your Saints Row of this year, I reckon. That'll be the one that you think you're not going to like, and then you'll just go mental with it and write about 18 editorials.
Cool. I look forward to that. Basically, it's always
boss prediction.
And I'll call you out on it again.
It'll be all right. I'm sure it'll be good. I think the biggest problem of this year is Nintendo, because like if that I don't know. I think there was so much wrong with yesterday's presentation, and it could have been so awesome. I think that like the bits they did show that were good were absolutely brilliant. Like I really like Pikmin. I really like Batman. But like that's the basically sort of retail's great white hope for Christmas, and especially if Sony really doesn't have like a proper AAA product for Christmas, I mean bloody hell, then this holiday season is going to be fucking pretty unpleasant, really. So you go.
Yeah, like oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Just
right, is that it?
That'll be.
Is that it?
Yes, that
right.
seems to be it.
Yes, it is.
That is it. Okay, well, I'll de-broadcast this, and okay. Thanks for your time.
See you tomorrow.
And see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, Kat. Say goodbye, Kat.
Bye-bye.
Right. See you later.